I'd like to invite Dr. Adebayo Adebisi to share with us lessons from yesterday. Please, let's make him feel welcome as he makes his way to the stage. Dr. Adebayo Adebisi. Please don't stop clapping until he gets here. Thank you very much. Do not forget, we're streaming this on Facebook, on YouTube, so you can share the stream link with your friends and your family members all across Nigeria and beyond. Welcome, Dr. Adebisi.
Good morning again, everyone. It's a real privilege to be here, and we are happy that we have you here. And to draw our attention again, we the people of Nigeria, that's not thunderous enough. We the people of Nigeria, we the people of Nigeria. Thank you very much. And quickly, we'll be going through the lessons learned yesterday. A lot was said yesterday, and that will turn us into the new Nigeria that we desire. And I'll be starting, first of all, with that unwritten first lesson, which was the fact that we love our country. Nigerians love Nigeria. We might have been having a wrong impression before, but yesterday, all doubts in my mind were cleared. And we can attest to that. We all know what happened. A lot of you had to get in very late, deep into the night. The same Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, the same Okene-Lokoja Abuja Expressway, Abaji, that you may even lose a job interview, you may forfeit a job interview because you don't want to take those routes. You travel through those routes to be here. And I was just at the back there yesterday thinking that, wow, I think this new spirit has got to take us over, and we take it off from there. Please put a round of applause for yourself. Thank you very much. So that is the first lesson yesterday. And we go back to let people know that that is who we are. We have nowhere to go. This is our country. And we do everything in our capacity to make it a country that we desire, a country that we dream it to be. And quickly, systematically, I'll be going through zone by zone when we came out to talk about our hurts and our grievances and what we discussed yesterday when that was happening. We started with Southwest. And they were very quick about what they thought about the marginalization, politically, economically, and all, and what they felt should be done going forward. Those were the things that we learned going from the Southwest. And from the South, there was so much to say about there should be nothing called minority. We are all Nigerians. And that is the lesson that we are taking back together. Everything belongs to us. We share all the blame. We share all the gains. And we run it together. That is the lesson that we learned yesterday coming from the South. And also, there should be the same treatment across zones. The same treatment across zones. What applies to South should apply to Southwest, should apply to Northwest, should apply to Northeast, should apply to North Central, and should apply to everywhere, even the Southeast. So that is another lesson that we learned yesterday. And of course, we learned a lesson about another grievance of theirs, about the lackadaisical attitude to ensuring the speedy project in the South. And that was brought across to us, and we all discussed it yesterday. We listened to them. And of course, there's the lack of respect for federal character principle. They also mentioned yesterday. That was what we learned yesterday, and what they told us about when they came to talk about their zone. Moving on to the Northeast, the very intelligent man came out to talk about the extremely poor security in the Northeast. And we all know about this. We are in the same Nigeria. Even this, it is the same narrative, even across all zones too. That's what we know now. And there should be a conscious effort to end the insurgency that has been ravaging the zone for over a decade now. In fact, they mentioned something that since the time he was in secondary school, that has been happening, and it's still happening till today. And he did something that I like so much, that we should all do everything within our power to put an end to this once and for all. Because as we have realized, it is no longer just affecting the Northeast, it is affecting the whole of Nigeria. I was listening to somebody the other time. Who was that? I can't remember again. Oh, I think a former military governor of Osun State, Colonel Lagmusoye Oyinlola, in one interview. He said when he was there to work in Maiduguri, that he said, oh, if this thing is not nipped in the bud at this time, the whole of Maiduguri may not be able to sleep very soon. He now ended this interview by saying, at the end of the day, he never knew then that the whole of Nigeria, it is the whole of Nigeria that will not sleep. So it's our collective problem, and I really made an appeal to make sure that we nip this in the bud and put an end to all this. And he also spoke about the low level of infrastructural development in the zone, in the Northeast, and they are just consumers. I think he used the word, and there should be less of bias against the people from the Northeast when people from other parts of the country are dealing with them, because trying to remind us that we should remember that we are all Nigerians. Then the marginalization of the minorities in the Northeast. He went further to talk about that this was a case of Northeast, not even the Nigeria issue yet. That within the Northeast itself, there are some people that are labeled minorities, and that the marginalization against them should be something that should be done away with. Moving on to the Northwest, of course, she went straight to the issue of insecurity that is at the highest there currently now, and that discrimination too when dealing from people from that side, when talking to people from other parts of the country, that they just want to see you and label you. They already gave you a label, and just so this one are Boki and everything. So those derogatory times are the things that we need to do away with. They may have their direct meaning, but we should know the way we use them so that we don't continue to degrade ourselves when we relate with each other. Let's remember again, it is one Nigeria. Then for the Southeast, political marginalization and also the economic policies that were seemingly targeted at the Southeasterners just because of their nature. The man also reminded us about the fact that you go to any corner, anywhere in this country, there is nowhere you won't see a Southeasterner. They take commerce from their zone away to other zones, thereby boosting the economic activities of those areas. Then the policies that are being made should actually be done to encourage this, to expand it further. We should do our best to potentiate our strengths and try to do something to limit our weaknesses. That is why the corporate entity called Nigeria can continue to blossom. And the lack of inclusion, he also touched on the federal character principle too, that is seriously lacking as perceived by them, and we all listen to them well, and the lack of equality and fairness was another thing that he spoke about. And from the middle belt, insecurity, of course, and the systematic grabbing of land by some militias. So she was in emotion-laden voice, you know, and we had to, in fact, she was almost walking out of stage, then we had to bring her back. That was how emotionally charged it was yesterday. It is important we discuss all this, because if we don't, I learned from somewhere, if we continue to shy away from discussing things that directly affect us, then it is difficult to solve the problem. So again, we have an opportunity to be together here to discuss this, and we are we, just the way we say it in the street parlance. We are we. Just look around you. We are all the same. We are here. There is no VIP, nobody is less than anybody here. So it's an excellent forum where we need to rub minds and discuss all this. Because at the end of the day, we are the people directly affected. We are the people directly affected. I can't see any mopo or anybody carrying gun or something to provide security for anybody here. So the earlier we discuss all this, the better for us, and we chart a course forward. Then she talked about no fairness and no justice. And she ended by saying justice, justice, justice. Of course, there should be justice. Any situation, any area where there's no justice, then anything goes. Then we continue to have all sorts of problems. That was from the middle belt. And again, We went further to talk about, when we talk about the women, and when we talk about some of the culture, our cultural practices that we need to do away with, and the girl-child marriage that continue to generate ripples that we need to look at critically as a country if we want to move forward with other countries that are looking forward. Because of the immense potential deposited in women, we cannot afford to continue to encourage practices that may prevent them from reaching their potential. Because a woman with VVL, I'm a doctor, I have seen many, I've had to attend to many. It's a big problem. It's a big problem. Lack of self-confidence, lack of interest, depression. I don't want to go into that. So if this is what we'll be giving BVF to these, our young people, our young girl, then we need to look at that practice and try to see how we can discourage it and stop it totally, as the case may be. Then, violence against women. This is one thing that every country of the world is frowning at. And if we are to move with the way the world is moving, it is something that should be unheard of, that should not be happening in our environment again. We need to see how we can join the other forward-looking countries, the modern world that gives maximum respect to women, and we put them and we recognize them, we give them responsibility, we recognize them for what they can deliver, for what they can do by their capacity, but not by the fact of the traditional definition of women. And also the Christian group also came here to talk about the marginalization against it. Marginalization, you know, it keeps recurring. And you can see it's affecting every group, and we are the people being affected. So it's a very, very good thing that we're here discussing. And then stigmatization too, especially in an area dominated by the other religion. And politics too, especially in politics, when they say, okay, if you belong to a particular religion, there's no way you can be a political leader here. And the lack of respect for religion. In fact, the man went further. If we are saying that we don't have one God, same God that we look up to, then why do we share the same Satan, the same devil? I think that's how he put it. It's something that really draws something into my mind. If there's any doubt of anybody trying to see that we should start rowing in the same direction, I think that has put it into our consciousness. That is something we need to look at. I cannot deal with you because you are not from my own area of religion. But who are you? Your personality is what matters to me. And we continue to take it up from there. Then the Muslims came forward to talk about their presentation and the the misrepresentation of Islam. In fact, in Islam, so that people can ask questions and gain knowledge. I must confess, I learned a lot yesterday during this session. And also, we had a guest speaker that wowed us to the extent that he was even nominated for the president round of election. And a young man was so impressed yesterday that we'll do that. That is the spirit. When we put our mind to what we're doing, he was listening attentively and said, wow, if this is coming from here, you can imagine the talents at our disposal, the array of talents here, and the people with ideas of how we can move things forward. He spoke about looking inward for solution, and we need to do that seriously. And before you blame others, you need to look at yourself. You look at yourself. You blame yourself. Because in many instances, what you are blaming that person for, you may be doing the same thing. Or they may say, oh, if it's you, it is circumstance that is causing this. But if it is coming from other, oh, that is how they behave. That is the situation. It's one principle that as a new Nigeria, as a new Nigerian, each and every one of us, we need to take forward and be conscious of as we look forward. You look at yourself first. Put yourself in the person's shoes, and we call it empathy. You try to do that, then you see how you will react if positions were reversed. Then it reminded us yesterday what we have always known, but probably we need to forget. That power does not change people. It only brings out what is already in you. So we have to be careful when we do that and with the way we assess people when they have power. That when you see people in position, the way they behave, that is who they are. The power has just given them the opportunity to express and to bring out what has been in them and who they are, actually. And again, politicians use divide and rule strategy. We need to be wary of this. Somebody coming to tell you some stories about something, probably when they have disagreed or something, you need to sit down and look at it yourself. Is this something that is worth it? Is this something that I should bother myself about? Is he really doing this for his own selfish interest? Is he doing this just because of the love for Nigeria? And at the same time, in anything we do, anything we try to get into, we should always remember that being a Nigerian, and Nigeria comes first. And again, friendship transcends ethnicity. That was another lesson yesterday. And he gave a very, very apt analogy. And by the time he's finished talking about that, I'll say, wow, this is so true. Nothing can be truer than this. It's true. When we were all in school, you will rather make friends with people outside than with your own siblings. That's just the way it is. You can tell them what you can't tell them at home. You can tell them secretly that you can't tell them at home. And you are always happy. In fact, you don't see them, you go all out to look for them. That is the way it is. Why can't we bring the same thing to the national front and relate with each other that way? Why should I see somebody that is not from my area, then I start feeling like, oh. And again, I would like to add something this morning, a personal experience. You know, when you meet Nigerians outside the shores of this country, you won't know how much you love Nigeria until you have that experience. Because in a foreign land, you will see people that you look like, that you can talk to. I'll just quickly go through one personal experience I had somewhere. For like a week I had been there. It was becoming boring, monotonous. Why? Because the intonation I was hearing, I was straining my ears to hear everything. I started craving. Where is Nigerianness in this place? Let me talk to somebody that looks like me. Let me talk to somebody that can understand the way I'm doing. So one day, my host, they needed to do something with their car. And we needed to travel to another town. Then somebody mentioned something that there are some Nigerians there selling spare parts in one particular town. The town is called Blantyre in Malawi. So, and I said, immediately I heard that, I was resting in the room. I jumped up that I will join this bus. We're going together. And truly, as I got there, trust my people, as I saw them, the man was calling somebody, and he was calling Chidera or something. I collapsed into their hands. And I said, who is this guy? I said, no, I've been here for like a week. I didn't know that you guys are here. I cannot measure the amount of joy in my mind that day to see them. Do you know what? I didn't even go back that day. I told them to come and pick me the next day. Let me start talking to this guy. And of course, they asked me when I'll be going back so that they can send me to some of their people in Lagos and Abuja as I was coming back. So until you do that, you won't really know how much we love ourselves. It's just that situations, circumstances will come and tear things apart. Then we tend to forget that we are the same Nigerian. I will never forget that experience. Then, low investment in human capital is what has been the bane of development in this country. And the need for us to continue to pay attention to that. Many of us might find ourselves in a policy-making group and everything. So this is what we should push. And the politics and everything inhibiting regional development. Of course, for all the points stated above, and these are the issues too. And again, one very, very funny saying that is also mentioned yesterday, that common sense is not common. Of course, not like we were hearing that for the first time, but again, it's good to remind ourselves so that when we see some things happening, he even mentioned some governors and some of the decisions they take, and you wonder, where is this coming from? so that we are not really surprised. And again, he spoke about let's patronize Nigeria. We need to patronize Nigeria. And when he mentioned that, he gave us some examples of how that can be done. And he also spoke glowingly about visions becoming real and becoming reachable, and that we need to walk around religious divide, and that the fact that we are one, that we need to remember this every time, and in everything we do, trying to remind ourselves all that happened yesterday. And again, I want to end this by reminding ourselves again. I started with this, and I'm going to end with it again. We love Nigeria. There is no evidence that is stronger than what we are seeing here. And again, those very, very bad roads, the risks that you are taking, going back, you are going to take those risks again. And not that anybody was induced. Or was anybody induced here to come? No. You came of your own free will. You came of your own accord, and you decided to take those risks for the love of fatherland. So we want to encourage us that as we continue to do this, as we continue to spread the spirit, we want it to spread like wildfire. And like the moderator said yesterday, that you are the one to step it down. Don't forget this. As you go back to your various states, you continue to see, because it will only start from somewhere. And now that you are starting it, the providence and the history will remember you, that you did your best in your own time to sow this seed of unity in this country that will set this country on a greater path, and it will become a country that all of us will be proud of at the end of the day. Thank you very much. Thank you, and good morning, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adebayo Adebisi. Please, let's appreciate him once again. That was an interesting recap. All right, now we'll move to the next segment, which is we're going to be hearing the talk from Dr. Henry Dibem, Mindset for Self-Liberation, Trust Building, and Progressive Journey into a New Nigeria. But before I invite him to the stage, the old Nigeria is known for, when it comes to time, we are known for what? African time. Am I correct? And a lot of us practiced African time this morning. Come on, this is a new Nigeria. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, this is a new Nigeria. No more African time. I mean, time is crucial in everything that we do. And it is timely that this summit is happening now. So please, let's be time conscious. As we're going to be doing all other activities, breaking into session, please, let's keep to time. For the lunch tea break, let's keep to time. Let's do that. I'd like to remind us to keep our phones on silent if you can, just to ensure that we're not distracted. And please, as much as you can, please avoid, hanging around. We're here. And we're here for this purpose. Let's take it with all seriousness and let's achieve what we came here for. We the people of Nigeria. We the people of Nigeria. That's great. We are ready for this. Please, let's make welcome Dr. Henry Dibem as he comes to the stage. He will be speaking to us on Mindset for Liberation, Trust Building, and Progressive Journey into the New Nigeria. Please don't stop clapping until it gets here.
So if I don't want you to stop clapping, I'll come back again. I'll keep clapping. As much as I want, I'll go back. That's a good one. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Sorry, just to ask, please, my time shouldn't start counting. Moderator, before, yeah. Do you have an idea if some people came here for Valentine or vacation? Please, these places, where are they? If your neighbor is not here, let me see your hands up. Are you serious? Are they here for vacation? Maybe I should have asked the management to put off the AC and no light in the rooms. This is interesting. No, this is not what we call for now. Is that how we'll go to New Nigeria? So like a lot of things that we said yesterday, the new Nigeria we are talking about starts from the little things you overlook. From the little things you overlook, that's where we start from. Yesterday, I was mentioning things like showing trashes on the road, beating traffic. No, it's not when you become the president that you start. And Adebayo said that thing very clear. Leadership is not position. Those little tasks you overlook. Punctuality. At the end of, let me tell you, the sweetness and the best part of this whole program is towards the end. Just wait for the bomb. And that end is to tell you what people like you had gone through to give you this experience. You will never find it elsewhere in Nigeria, in Africa, honestly. Wait for it. I will tell you that stories. What people, individuals go through to give you this experience. And somebody will come and be stretching under AC with blankets. By this time, you're not here. And we can't be doing this and we're talking about the new Nigeria. No, we will start with these little things, as little as it is. Please. So, if you don't mind, I know you have your neighbor's number. You can just call him or her, appeal to his or her conscience to please come down. We are waiting for them. That I am not starting until they come. We're waiting for them. Send texts. You can go out and make a call. Okay? Just tell them that way. Thank you very much. This is how to show Nigerians that we are ready. Not by beating traffic again. Now, as I was coming, even before that, something interesting happened. I was so wild. Somebody reminded me of something like that. One of the delegates met me across the road, and when I was coming, and said like, he says, sir, I thought you were from Southeast. This one is Yoruba cap. But you guys asked us to dress in our native attire when you are coming. And you're not in our stuff like that. I say, oh, really? I actually forgot. After yesterday, the bomb, the energy, the vibration yesterday, I forgot where I came from. I could not remember Nigeria. And so I just went to the market. I was asking the sellers, do you have any Nigerian cap? They showed me this one I bought. So I think we are getting there. And that's the attitude. So, sorry. Sorry, 1 second. Let me. You know what I'm struggling with? The devil always comes when it's very important. When you want to do something very important, that's when the devil remembers you. And, okay. So fine. Please, that soundtrack, could you raise it a bit? Because I want people to be in the mood to understand that this is a serious business. Yeah. Not too loud, not too loud. Lower it a bit. Lower a bit. Okay. So, now let's start with this. I want to tell you about two important instincts in a human being. Two very important instincts in a human being. And those instincts are humanistic instincts, animalistic instincts. Humanistic instincts, animalistic instincts. Animalistic instincts are those instincts that make us animals, equal with the animals. So when you say the biological context of animal, that's what we are. So in biology, when they teach you, say, these are the characteristics of animals, living things, though not living things, animals, we are just like them. That's what makes us like them. Then the humanistic instincts are those instincts that make us superior being over animals. That's what makes us human beings, those instincts. Now, what are the animalistic instincts? Instincts generally is just those natural, response to certain stimuli, certain situations in life. this natural response. You just, without thinking, it's not a logical process. You just respond. So in animalistic instincts, you have instincts like, yeah, thank you, better. You have instincts like selfishness, individualism. These both, you can put them under survival instincts. And survival instincts could be for fear, your response to fear, or your response to favor. Now, your response to fear under animalistic instincts is flee or what? Fight. Flee. So when you see like people, there's a problem in the country, next thing is let's run to another country. That's an instinct. Fight is you don't have means to run. There's nothing else you could do. You are pushed to the wall. The only thing you have to do is to fight. So you find those on the streets, little time, crisis, war, bomb. They are so frustrated. They have nothing else. So they feel that the best way to solve their problems, pulling their instincts, is to fight, kill people, destroy, and so on. Now, favor. Your response to favor, once you find something that will favor you, your response is selfishness and individualism. My own, my own, my own. Have you had anybody that called, in the history, have you had anybody that called the NEPA people or agency to complain that his neighbor or the streets after their own do not have light for 3 weeks? But them, they have light too, just that their neighbor do not have light. Have you heard that kind of call before? Or somebody calling you to complain about something happened to somebody else, that if you could help, but him that is safe, there's no problem with him. So the instincts will always pull us back to us. That is your response, instinctive, animalistic, instinctive response to favor. All animals, do that. So you have other ones like fight and conquer, survival of the fittest, feelings of threat and jealousy, mating. Now we'll move to the humanistic instincts. Humanistic instincts are conscience. Animals do not have conscience. Your tendency to respond to your conscience, rules of order, wisdom. Animals do not have wisdom. Knowledge. These are all humanistic instincts. Your ability, your tendency to use some of these higher abilities to respond to your circumstances. Then spirituality, which we've turned to religion. Religion is the animalistic instinct version of spirituality. Because spirituality, in essence, is having a connection with a divine power. Having a connection with a divine power. But human beings reconverted that instinct to religion, telling you how much you are divided in your connection with one God. He said all of us are worshiping, and will turn it against us. So it's an animalistic version of spirituality. Then communalism, that is humanistic instincts, living together. If you come to a street or a country, you discover that you are the only person, no other person exists there. Would you leave? Would you stay? I remember someone has said that Igbo people used to stay for that kind of place. Is that true? That Igbo people will go to where there's nobody and survive and make it working. However, I think the understanding is that they could go to where things are not working and they'll make it work. Not that human beings are not living there. But if you find yourself in that kind of thing, of course, definitely your instinct, your human instinct will tell you that, no, you always want to go where you mix with people. That is communalism. That's a human instinct. So what normally happens is that because animalistic instinct is a lower instinct, is a lower being, is a lower operation of a being. Humanistic instinct is a superior operation of a being, is a higher operation. So this is what makes us take charge, be in control, to control the animals in the bush. Because we have something similar with them, but we have a higher operational instinct, power, ability, more than they do. So that's why we were able to get a dog. You can control a dog, you can tame a sheep, you can tame a cow, and so on and so forth. And human beings are able to tame lions. These are our instincts. But we all have that. Now, what happens is that because animalistic instincts is very low, it's easily reachable. The humanistic instincts takes that human being in you, it takes a lot of ability, some level of consciousness to access that humanistic instinct. This other one, you don't need any work. It's easy. Just but this other one, you need to climb ladder to do that. Now, because we have both instincts, this is the reason why something can happen. If you have an accident anywhere, incidents, events that is very bad or something, you could easily find anybody walking around. Do you get what I'm saying? People passing on the street, they will stop their cars, they will rush, they will want to help. Okada people, Merua, anybody. Have you seen them? Even those ones you find on the streets, you say they are uneducated, you will discover that education has nothing to do with instincts. They will come to help you. I have that experience severally. I've had a car accident where our car somersaulted into the bush. In fact, it was even in a diplomatic vehicle because I worked with the US government. The tire just don't know what happened, and we went in the bush. All of a sudden, all these Okada people, the streets, because that's the only people you find there, they all stopped and rushed, and oh God, my experience with them that day put tears in my eyes. But unfortunately, these same people that will save you in the car, out of your car or your problems, your house is burning, they will come and bring water and help you to do that. Later, the same day, if something goes wrong, they will still come back and burn that car, kill you that they saved, burn the same house that they helped saved. Two instincts working. So someone will come to know, these guys, that's for you to tell you that there are still human beings in them. They are not us. It's just that the two institutions that would have helped them to develop their humanistic instincts, what are the two institutions? Spirituality and education. Should have helped them to develop their humanistic instincts more than the animalistics. We deny them, so they easily reach out the animalistic instincts to behave the way they behave. But once something happens that will trigger their humanistic instincts, you will see them, they will show you the kind of love that you never believed that will come out of them. Now, let me take you to the root problem of Nigeria. You have a lot of solutions, strategies. Unfortunately, they are not working. People come to say, the problem of Nigeria is this and that, and they will provide solutions. At the end, it doesn't work. We don't know why. Let me tell you today, from our deep-rooted analysis and the New Nigerian Group, the problem of Nigeria, the problem of the black race, the problem of Africa is something that we realized that we do not bother blaming anybody because it's beyond our control. We don't even know why we do what we do. We are born into it and saw the environment doing the same thing and we just flowed up. We don't have an idea. The problem comes from back in our history. Colonization, slavery. Colonization, slavery. What did they do? If you understand the level of torment our parents went through, sound, is there echo? Try to reduce the echo. If you understand the kind of torment our ancestors, our fathers went through that period, you can only just better imagine. I'm not sure that you will deliberately treat an animal like that. Deliberately, the kind of torture they went through. So what they did to them? The three things that they found themselves and they had no help then was they were totally, first, de-identified. De-identified means they won't try to change the identity, to let them believe that they are not whom they are. Some of them that they took over to the other border, when they go to the country or something, they change their names in the first place. you now start seeing the history of a black man answering Jackson Smith. So by the time you get there, you won't even know whether you're coming from Nigeria or Ghana or Cameroon. You don't even know where you're coming from. And there's nothing, any part of your culture that you would practice. It's not possible. Changing the identity. Secondly, dehumanization. Dehumanization. Those torments, those torture, those treatments, those abuse, bitter, hang somebody on the tree, spread the legs, turn the person upside down, beat the person in front of the family, put the person on chains and fetters, be dragging them like animals. Make them believe that they're not humans, they're animals, because they are treated like animals. So they were dehumanized, means the humanity, that human instincts in them was taken away. So they were made to believe that they are animals, be treated like animals, and feel like animals. So you can see where we lost that humanity. And this cost whole lot of things to them. They had no other option because they had no help. And they started living. At some point, slavery, some good institutions, anti-social campaigns started, and they abandoned what I call physical slavery. Unfortunately, when the physical slavery had gone, we already affected our mentality, their thinking, their ways of reasoning. And this is what they handed over from generations to generations to generations to generations. So they were made to believe that they should be like their colonial masters. So they should walk under the order of their colonial masters. And they did all that to just be relevant to their colonial masters. They lost their identity, so they don't even know whom they are. And that's what they passed over to us. So that's why you now hear me. I answer Henry. Please don't call me a slave. That's what they gave me. Henry shouldn't actually be my name. And most of us that will answer our English names. And now that's when you see, we now start having our beauty, sense of beauty has been totally damaged and reformed to believe that anything white is better than black. This is what we all inherited. So we are now going for bleaching creams, skin tone. If your child is fair, you can help and put Jericho oil on the hair so it looks like white and you are happy. But your child is dark. Who born this Peking? Just because of skin color. We cherish their traditional wedding, which is our what we call white wedding. That's our colonial master's traditional wedding, not our own wedding. So here we now do two types of weddings: our colonial master's wedding and our own traditional wedding. But in those countries, they only do their weddings. They don't do two. Do you agree with me? I'm still coming. Now, when you find our ladies with long hair, Brazilian, Indian, American, one hair, 500,000, somebody carrying Okada or keke as hair, and you flick it, it looks beautiful. Oh, even the men, you will clap for them. That's the one you will marry because of the long hair. Sorry, don't mean any abuse, but let's get the reality. It becomes our identity for nature. You are colonial master's natural hair, not your own. Please, I know why I say put that music. It's very emotional. So take time to absorb this. There are places I will read and be fast to cover up, but you need to get this, because if you don't get this root of our problems, the new Nigeria might be far. Now, we've totally lost everything that makes us who we are. Why would we keep our children at home? Deny them of higher education because they did not pass our colonial master's language. 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. Why are you still at home? I didn't pass English. And the people we are mimicking, they don't have any barrier. That becomes our system. Then even when your child speaks good English with phonetics, you become so proud. This mentality is what we brought, we've taken over from the generation, and we come down. I remember how many knocks. Do you know knock? How many knocks I received for speaking Igbo when I was young in my school, and they called it vernacular. And they said, you should speak your colonial master's language. What are we telling them? You do not belong here. You are not a Nigerian, you're not an Igbo, you're not an Hausa, you're not anybody. That you are a colonial masters. You're an Englishman. At that age. So after telling them that they do not belong here, they are not part of this country, that this is home they belong to, what do you expect them to do when they grow with that mentality? Now, when they now become leaders, you expect them to build hospitals here. You expect them to build good schools here. They would rather take their children to that country. You told them that this should be their vision. They would rather develop that country than your country. They won't have any urge to improve your health system, improve your infrastructure, improve your political system, improve your educational system. There won't be any urge. See, if all of us cry from today, cry, abuse them, curse them, this and that, if they see select few of us and bring them down and replace them with some of us here, if we still have the same, what we are calling the old Nigerian mentality, we'll be worse than them. Nothing will change because it runs in the blood, in the sense, in the mind, and in the heart. How do we detach ourselves in this generation so that this will be the beginning, the end and the beginning, the meeting point? That is the history we want to create in this country. And we are not enemies at all with foreigners, international communities, because we want to show the world that the new Nigeria is the Nigeria that will embrace the world as their brothers and sisters. For the purpose of the reconciliation, we won't go back to history and start fighting for our parents, but to make our parents proud. I'm sorry. We'll make them proud for all the things that they went through. We have woken up for all the sufferings that the colonial masters put them through. It was never their fault. They never wanted to go to that land. They wanted to come back. But forces beyond them refused. Now we are their children. We have to liberate Africa. We can't continue like that. And this is the only reason why we need to forgive each other. Forgive each other. We are not our problems. For those that have killed you, for those that have succumbed you, for those that have intimidated you, it's not their fault. Now that you have known better, let's get it right. And the world and divinity will be happy with the black race. So I move on. The outcomes of loss of, one of the things that we have, loss of identity, loss of ownership, loss of responsibilities are the things that we inherited. And these are why we see what we see today as lack of patriotism, of sacrifices, preferences for white wedding, like I mentioned. Fair tone, okay, I wouldn't go back there. But in the society as a whole, the outcome is what we see today. Borrowed education system, borrowed value system, borrowed fashion system, borrowed priorities as a people. Even when we have our issues as leadership problems, corruption, and terrorism, we are also making other people's priorities as our priorities. why we die, we've not been able to solve our own. If God has blessed us so much that He has given us some natural immunity or natural know-how that we do not have COVID the way it is, we are taking it to be our priority. Poverty, corruption, terrorism have killed more lives than COVID. And it's still killing. But we don't care. We are making somebody's priority to be ours. Individually, the outcomes are the corruption we see today, lack of patriotism for the nation. Because when somebody do not know whom he is, you've lost your identity. Why would you be proud of your country? Why? Why would you be proud of our country? You're not even proud of yourself. You're not proud of your skin. You're not proud of your hair. Why would you be proud of where you are coming from? So when you see lack of nationalism, and some of us who watch EPL, Premier League, you will see countries, you see clubs, they are beating them to stupor. And you see their fans standing up and still clapping for them and be crying. They are still proud because they are going down with the club even though they are losing. That is patriotism. Blacks, we do not have it. Any little thing we abuse, we cause, and want to run away to the very different place. That is the things you see today. So it's part of things we got individually. We try. Then hostility, intolerance, insensitivity, and so on and so forth. And my advice is, let us build our own natural habitat for the globe to admire and appreciate us. Let us find strength and go in our own pace. We are lions struggling in the sea, trying to be like fishes because we are convinced that we are fishes, but we are not. I will even say because we are convinced we are fishes, because we are manipulated to believe that we are fishes. And I think that's what it is. Now, I want to talk about local intelligence versus foreign intelligence. We make our children compete in academic brilliance, but no recourse to local intelligence. Most parents are happy to see their children score highest in computer science, English language, mathematics, and so on and so forth. But the children do not have practical knowledge of agriculture or even know how their local crops, their favorite food, rice, yam, potato, are grown. They don't even know. This is my first-hand experience because I'm also a youth and child leadership counselor. I've mingled with children in Africa. I've had a situation, we see that banner there, G-Roll Africa, Wild Liona Club. I found it, and it's running in Nigeria. Those kids in that picture, they're in this country. Because I've discovered that it's easy to start where we are. And all my partners in Nigerian Greens, the way the people of Nigeria group, supporting us strongly. And I will let you know that the pioneers, the owners, the foundations of the schools that are supporting me in that, allow the schools to be running that, are here with us. Please, can you stand up? Okay, Nwa. And no, these people you see, please keep clapping. They are the pioneers, they are the owners of that school. And because they share the same vision with me, that is what you see today. So we are going and doing a lot with the kids, irrespective of whatever sacrifices we are making, what is costing us. Sit down. Thank you for coming. So that is that. Then our identities are not our choices. This is another important one. And I'm telling it all to Black race. We are whom we are because we are born to be like that. We are born to be Black. We are born in Christian families. That's why we are Christians. We are born in Muslim families. That's why we are Muslims. We are born to be white. You could be born to be white or fair. Whatever you see today about those identities, that's how we are. We don't have choices. There is no thing that says when you work hard, you become a white. When you don't work hard, nothing. There is nothing. See, it's just our natural identities. We couldn't have helped that. So nobody should come to tell you how inferior you are. Just pray for the person that God should help the person to know better. That's what you should do. Now, the questions, insightful questions I want to ask, for those that are racist, tribalists, religionists, and so on and so forth, I will say, if you fight for your tribe or religion today in this life, assuming there is reincarnation, after fighting a black man and God creates you a white, or after fighting a white man and God creates you what would you do? You fight back the other one. If you're a Christian and you fight a Muslim and you die today and you come back the next world as a Muslim, what would you do? You start fighting back the Christian. Does it look stupid? Fine. Then how do we decide our dividing lines? Because there are many differences in our physical nature. It's not only about skin, tribes, religion, nationality, gender. What about height? Why not we divide by height? The tall versus the short. Because I know if we divide by that way, I will find a lot of brothers in the north that are tall like me. All of us will become one country. And we're fighting the short ones, even in my own region. So who decides the dividing? Who? How? How does it come from? So how does the division benefit us and even our separate identities? Is there any guarantee that when you divide, you'll be happier? If the world is filled with 7 billion, we're about 7 million. If the world is filled with 7 billion people of you, of your type, what's your name? Olatayo, stand up. If the world is filled with Olatayo, Obondayin, sorry, forgive my, is filled with this man, 7 billion. So that means 7 billion of his weaknesses and 7 billion of his specialties. What do you do, sir? What's your specialty? Business. What business do you do? Paint consultants. So you have 7 billion paint consultants, no doctor, no farmer, no mechanic, 7 billion paint consultants, the same height, the same clothes, the way he smiles, cloned of himself, 7 billion, so that you don't see where to divide. Would he be happy? Who want to exist in that kind of world? Nobody? So why are you dividing? Why are you fighting? So, like I picked from my brother yesterday, Chief Okenwa, that spoke something about that. There are some things he spoke yesterday. I tried to jump here. I don't want to, so because of time. But he said something, that is what it is. That division is just our mentality. Your mindset. Because if you decide to divide by color, why wouldn't you divide by height? It's just, so you can as well decide not to divide if you can get that right mentality. So I have this about the youth. Youth, there's so much thing about money. Money. That is very crazy. And the simple thing I can tell you about money for the youth now is, if they send you to one planet like Jupiter, there is no human being there, and they will drop $10 trillion with you in that planet and leave you and come back here and say you should survive. Who will want to stay there? I'll come and ask you, how much do you need in life? You will say it. I'll go and drop that money and drop you alone in that planet. Who would want to stay? But if I tell you there's another planet with various human beings, colors, differences, and would you want to go there? Now, you have a planet with all human beings, no money. Another planet with all money, paper. That paper, if you want, we'll print pounds. Tell us the one you want to print. We'll print it. That paper, we'll leave it there with you. Which of the world we want to belong? And this is to say that money is just nothing without people. It is the people that give money the value you see. Without people, the money, whatever you see, is the paper. There is no value. Then if the people give money the value, because if you want to go and buy something, somebody will sell it to you. You want to go to a mechanic, somebody will work on your car before you pay. So you go to the hospital, somebody will treat your child. So people give money the value. So if the value, this thing you pursue up and down, placing it first before people, if there are no people, it is useless. And if this is true, so why do you kill people to get the paper? Why do you kill people? Do all manners of things to get this? Why? The value of this is because all of you are alive. Please, you don't answer it here, put it in your heart, jot it down, and just to read it on your own is something that will give you a sober reflection. So I would say, for the youth, once you have character, you have healthy relationships, and money will follow you naturally. That come from the skies or trees. The friends you make with character last forever, but the friends you make with money will last as long as the money is in your hands. So whenever you lose the money, the friends will go. Materially and spiritually poor when you lose people in search of money. Give a person without character a skill or an opportunity, he will use it against the people. Give a person without character, give the person a skill and an opportunity, and he will use it against the people. But give a person with character and skill and opportunity, he will use it for the people to build relationships. This will give opportunities for leadership. Because they do not have character, they end up using the authority and the power to torment the people with that authority. They will never give you anything meaningful from it. It's just a test of character. Again, for the young guys, simply because you are young does not make you a better leader. I hope you know that. Youthfulness does not translate to better leadership. Just like gender, ethnicity, religion, skin color, language, political party, they do not translate to better leadership at all. Character and the ability to take responsibility, serve others, make sacrifices in the interest of others is what leadership is all about. When you try to blindly translate leadership by where you come from, or your affiliations, and so on and so forth, then the road to Nigeria seems so far. It is a mental blindness. And I want to use an example what happened when you are coming here. When you registered, we divided all of you in groups, right? That strategy was meant for a lot of things, but you guys might not know. You know, the admin told you that he wasn't going to come there to tell you what to do. Just fix yourself. You know what we did? It was a test of leadership character in all of you. And at the moment, unfortunately, only 5% passed it. Do you know what 5% did? People that were able to take responsibility, knowing fully well that there is no gain, but for the interest of their groups, few took response, as in, we are so amazed. And some, they were calling them, how far now? Are you not here? Come up to the group now. Nobody come for the meeting, this and that. Some are busy giving reasons. They won't come, they didn't come. And the next day, they won't come again. They will give another reasons. And they are thinking that it's now when they become the president, they won't give us reasons why they failed. When you ask them with that kind of attitude, they will still tell you that they failed because of Madagascar, or because of Cameroon, or because of the trees or the birds. But some took responsibility, seriously. And I will give a standing ovation personally for a woman. We joined some of those groups just to see what was going on. For a lady that truly showed to all the New Nigerian Vision members force. And it proved to me that gender equality that will lead to the power. And I will tell you that lady at the end of this. Please remind me. A woman. Please, I need that applause for her. And she knows, and she's here. And you know what amazed me? What she did? They didn't even know that she was a woman. Because her name wasn't just company name. That's what she used. And they now told her, please, okay, be the leader. See, you are more this thing. Please, can you connect us? Yeah. You know what she said? She said no, that she wouldn't lead. She wouldn't do that. That she just wanted everybody to start doing something. That we can't fail. We can't go to Nigeria in front of this platform and fail our region. She refused. So then I thought that maybe could she be doing it to just get power and be leader and be in charge? And no, she didn't. But she was there all through supporting those that were leading. Even those that were leading were not forthcoming. She was there backing up for them. Calling every member of that group, one, calling them for meetings. You need to see the kind of stress that this woman went through. And she never took power. I said, no. If we have this kind of leadership, in the new Nigeria, we don't care. A woman can lead Nigeria to promised land. But not yes. Not yes. Only if you know that it's all about taking responsibility, making sacrifices, taking the country as your own family. That's what she did. So let's go on. Position of power is not leadership. Positions of power. So for those that will say, when you get power, you now lead. No, it's not. In case if you're waiting for that. Everybody is a leader in different respects and levels, depending on the amount of level of responsibilities we choose to take. We actually misconstrue positions for leadership. Yes, we actually misconstrue positions, yes, for leadership. We do not need power or positions to be leaders. When we say leaders are our problems, it also means that we are also our problems because we are all leaders in different respects. If you want to talk about leader, you also take even families breaking down. Do you think families don't have leaders? Somebody who has not been able to manage his family is coming to lead you as a local government chairman or state or governor or president. You can see where the problem is coming from. So the breakdown of society today starts from homes and families. Who are the leaders of those families? If you do not know how to accept responsibilities but looking for whom to blame, even if you become the president of Nigeria, you will blame, like I said, the trees and the birds and other countries. We are also tired of people pretending that they care for us so much by blaming the leaders, but only for them to use us to dethrone the government and go there and become worse than the government. They never meant well in the first place. We also brought this idea of followership-oriented transformation. What does it mean, FOT? FOT means that you can change your country. Citizens have the power to change their countries. When you've depended on leaders or government for so long, for years, they're not forthcoming, what do? We have power. We harness the power to change our countries. And how do you harness the power? It's not by fighting them. No. I'll give you an example. You heard about the Ghanaian youth's attitude? You heard about that? That the politician came back thinking it's the same way and gave them bags of rice. Those youths came out, the car, they quietly, in fact, they didn't pay them for offloading or no loading. They had to load, they just loaded the bags of rice back into the van and passed their message to the driver or whoever coordinated it. Go and tell the politician that we need jobs, not rice. This is, I was, for the fact it's coming from an African country, my hope was lightened. Because I thought into that maturity. And that's what Nigeria needs, because the whole of Africa is waiting for Nigeria, actually. I never knew. So that was a story of a country that is ready to take over without violence. But I wouldn't want my own people here to wait and start moving forward, and all of us to go and line in their embassy for visa to go there. It would be a shame. So we can do that as well. It's just character, attitude. That's what we need. So a lot of people see leadership as an opportunity, or we can see leadership as an opportunity to let your generation tell your stories to their great-grand generations with tears of joy and no regret. Is anything wrong with that? We are looking for this one hero with a heart of lion to be brave to stand against evil with pride, yet with a heart of dove to love goodness. Nation is a reflection of the social belief system. Why do I say that? Because leaders emanate from followers. Leaders do not fall from air. Dr. Adebayo said something this morning. Leaders do not fall from air anywhere. They come from among us. So what you see power do when they get there, it shows whom you are. It won't change you. If you are not changed as a follower, my brother, you won't change as a leader. You will become worse. And that is what followership-oriented transformation means. We are trying to have to build that change among us as followers so that when any of us will now get to that position, he knows what to do blindly without being told. But with the kind of social system we value, driven by self-interest, driven by money, by luxury, if that person becomes leader, what do you expect from them? So we know where to complain. Complain rightly. Complain inwards. It's all about you, not anybody. Marginalization. How are we marginalized in this country? We are distracted to believe that we are marginalized by our tribes, religion, gender, and so on. This is a very intelligent plot of the masters of true marginalization. Very intelligent plots. What happens actually in reality? The real marginalization is between the bad and the innocent. They will join the bad. But I call them the innocents because they don't know the game. They don't know what's going on. Elements marginalizing the good. You will find these bad elements every tribe, every government. They are your community. They are. And okay, I say something yesterday. When we are busy, they are confusing you. The one that they're giving to them, they have already. Have they used it? You are brother. You are the same tribe and everything. Had an opportunity to liberate you out of poverty or something. Has anything happened? Rather, you see him, he might be the only person with the powerful duplex, with light, with generator, and the road will come from wherever to his. That will be the only thing. And when you go to them, they will not try to change you or manipulate your head to tell you it's Buhari or his president is Jonathan, is your passenger, whoever that is there. This is all manipulation. So the point here is that the bad elements of these manipulations are amongst us in every level. So when you say divide, 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 it's just like water, clean water, with few drops of bad elements, inks, right? If you get a cup of water in the glass, just put two drops. What would you see? The ink, the whole water will be contaminated, right? And becomes blood. And they come to tell you that the solution is to divide that water into 20. If you divide the water into 20, are you not dividing with the ink? So that bad elements, they are everywhere. But rather than telling you that they make you because that's the only way for them to keep you busy, be fighting when they are doing what they are doing. But at their level, they're very united with that common purpose of evil, what the agenda that they want to do. They're not divided. You see them mixing up, hanging, chopping champagne, and so on and so forth. So it's something that I would like you to note, that when you mention marginalization, divide, everywhere. By the time you finish dividing and discover that they're with you, there's nothing you know you could do. Now, a nation. Okay, so I end up by saying that there are victims of marginalization in every region and religion. People have been brainwashed to fight for tribes and religion among them, thereby protecting their enemies and fighting their friends. Have you heard about that before? When you are so manipulated that you fight your friends and you protect your enemy without knowing that. That is the plot, and it's a very good one. Again, a nation or society is a body of special abilities. What do I mean? We are all, as a country, as a nation, as a community, embodiment of special abilities, just like the body system. So a community with special abilities, when you see a country, when you look at your body has different types of shapes, colors of organs and tissues in the body. But they're all working for what? A common goal, to sustain the body. That's what a society is like. So when you see different regions and they have their special abilities, no single person, including the criminal that you will condemn today, that is useless. They have something special that God has given them to give to the world. But they just came into the world, misprioritized their function or maybe circumstance or whatever. They now use that ability for something different. So we are all embodiment as a country of special abilities. There's something the north, the west, the south, the southwest, whoever, that they have that other regions might not have. And why we form a country, people that look at the country as what it is that we are looking at a situation where we have all these abilities coming together. That is what makes us great. That's what makes America. People from here will tell you about differences in Nigeria. But they'll travel to America. America is a whole world. I hope you know. America is the embodiment of the whole world. But they are so smart and so good to use their systems to cut off your nonsense, but take your abilities. And then I became the same blacks that we are fighting. Go to their sports, basketball, athletics. Who are giving them the golds? But the same black will come here. You will find whether it's Igbo or Hausa or Muslim. But they have all of them there. So you will leave Nigeria divided, and you want to go to America and follow them to be preaching one America, a one American dream. You won't see division there, but you see division in our country. Please, let's think. That's what the nation is. I also want to talk about what I call the OPM. OPM, other people's money. One of the ways we are just wicked to each other in the search of wealth. Every function or ability in life is as important as other. None or nobody is actually less or more important than the other in principle. When you earn money ambitiously because you own a company or initiated an idea, why the people who work with you to make the idea a huge success, why those people still struggle to make a decent life by you paying them mischievously, and so on, just because you want to earn the bigger money as the CEO. Sorry, to your money. You are living on other people's money. That is OPM, and not just your money. So every individual material richness or wealth is OPM. So nobody can survive alone. Otherwise, take the person to Jupiter and let him make the same money there without the people. You are rich because other people worked for it too, not because you are more important. Even if you are the brain behind it, others could be the blood, the heart, the hands, and the legs behind it. The brain cannot survive without the heart and the rest of the body. Your own special ability could only be the thinking, the creative ideas, but not security, not accounting, not cleaning of the factory, not loading and offloading of the goods, not handling difficult customers, not driving heavy trucks to long distances, not electrical maintenance and constructions. You may have the brain power to think and create, but another has the physical power to implement, and another could have the emotional power to attract clients and customers to you for your business to grow. Now, I also have this to say that the rich and the rulers also cry. Was that the rich also cry? Was it a book or what? So opera. Okay, yes. The rich also cry. Well, this is my own context. I wasn't so sure what they acted there. The rich and our rulers are also afraid, and even more afraid than you. So they need to be helped and be assured that the new Nigeria we are journeying into will protect them and give them the peace that they are looking for. The real peace and not the type of peace that they seek. It is not evil to be rich in the new Nigeria. It is actually how you make the wealth, how you get the power, and how you use them is what matters. When you make your money and obtain power rudely and unfairly, in a society that parents eat their children to survive, you will certainly be afraid of your shadows because your brain will interpret everything around you as a threat, and you lose your God-given freedom to richness and power. That is when you now start building fences 30 feet high, 20 policemen, 30 mobile army, all sorts not. I don't think we have need for that. If you make your money legitimately in the new country and the new society we are promising, you can walk across the street to buy banana, buy corn. You don't need to be afraid of anything. Your fence, you don't even need to put wall around you. It's when we make money, make power illegitimately, we become afraid of our shadows. Everything becomes a threat to us. We are running away from the same community that put you there. Now, agitation and individualism, frustrations is not a solution to our problem. When the person, like when people agitate, vengeance and so on and so forth. So when the whole idea is that when the person becomes better, he or she easily forgets the agenda of the agitation and forgetting that there are others who are still in the same problem that he came from and he will never come back to it. So there are several ulterior motives for agitations and violent activisms. Majority is political. And once the leader gets the power they want, then they dump the rest of the followers. So the question is, how do we identify decent and sincere agitations? Now, we will never be against protests, okay? So, but we are saying, once you find this kind of protest that is full of abuse, curses, insults, complaint, blaming, and so on and so forth, violence, once you find them, the question that you ask yourself is, these people doing this, are they complaining because they are hungry and angry? Or are they complaining because of the corrupt system? What are they complaining about? And if they are complaining about the corrupt system, which is valid, then you will now want to know if that corrupt system feeds them or gives them power or opportunities, what do you think they will say? Will they say no? I'm asking you. Do you think they will say no? You see people complaining. They will not go agree, they will not go agree. We'll do this, we'll do this. And the presidency will call one of them and say, okay, I'll make you the special advisor to the presidency. Yes, I've heard your voice. Do you think he will say no, that others are still there? What happens to others? the person will quickly grab the opportunity and turn back and tell you, now I've seen clearly. I think the presidency is actually working so hard. I think, no, you don't understand. Yes, how would you understand? Now you're on this side. When you're that side, you refuse to understand. That is what we see today. Blind people deceiving blind people. And we keep on living. It becomes a cycle with no solution, no headway. So, if, so it's just kind of a, reaching, I call it a coping mechanism as well. When people feel frustrated and they just find anger, abuse, go to social media, make mistake and say anything about you in Nigeria. I will be very, very sorry for you. Now, physical health and mental health. Mental health needs as much care as your physical health, please. Protect your mental health. Treat your mind like you treat your body. If you know how to avoid food poisoning or the food that is not well with your system that will make you sick, please avoid mind poisoning, fills you with negative energy and makes you feel like life is hopeless and worthless. Be careful with social media. The source of most mind poisoning is the social media. Choose what to feed your mind to protect your relationship, your dreams, your reputation, your hope, your future, and your quality of life. You deserve to be happy, even in the midst of hardship. There are many good things that are there, that give hope, even in the midst of turmoil. The media has the capacity to make your life miserable or enjoyable. But you will have to give them that power. The choice is yours, and the power is in your mind to choose what you feed to it. Common connections for common purpose. We have a common purpose in life because we have a common connection. So your brothers and sisters are not actually your brothers and sisters. You are different from them. If you are going by our theory, our model of differences, there are a lot of things that make you and your brother different than your sisters. But what connects you? The common connection with your, please tell me, the common connection with your parents, what is that? What? What? No, shout, who is the speakers? Where are they? Blood? No, your blood, you still have different blood, you don't know. Who are the medicals here? Your bloods are not the same. Your parents. Your genes are not the same. Your parents. That's the connection. So you do what you do because you come from the same father. So anybody is not your brother. Or the same father and same mother. That becomes the common connection. Now what it means is that similarities and find a common purpose for life. It means that we can also think about common connection from ancestry, community, language, teacher or school. For example, we have alumni groups, right? We have alumni groups in our WhatsApp groups. That's the common connection there is our schools. So we see ourselves as the same, fighting for a common purpose because of our alumni. We can also find our common connection in our country. Now, let me talk about organic systems and primary law and institutions. Organic systems. People do not realize that the best systems in this world are the organic systems. And the organic systems are, when you say systems are not working, these are not working, these are not working, these are institutions are not working. People, you're talking about the people, not the computers, not the technology, not the structures, not the buildings. People. So when you say people are not working, and people will come back to say, the solution to our country, sorry, this might be a little bit for those that are, solution of our country is restructure, is revise the constitution. Those are all good, but they are secondary. Because if somebody tells you that revising your constitution will change us, or restructure will change you as a person, tell the person that we are made to understand that the Bible and the Quran are so perfect and the best books in life. But why are we not following it as Christians and as Muslims? So we do say because Christians are not doing what the Bible says, go and revise the Bible. Please, I need feedback. Let me be sure I'm communicating. Would you say because we're not doing what the Bible says, or what the Bible says, or what the Bible and Quran says, go and revise the Bible and revise the Quran so that people will change? It's inside. It's a character thing. If you don't get it right, restructure 200 times. revise the Bible, the Constitution 200 times, change the name of Nigeria from Ghana to Togo to Pinkom to Party, change the name of Nigeria, nothing will change. The change we are talking about is the people, not these inorganic things. Now, what are we saying? Yesterday we said punctuality, come on time. That we are going to start so time, then people do not come. You know when they are coming? So do we go and revise the timing? Because we say the timing is wrong, and revise timing so that people will follow. That is what we are facing. It's still about us. So that's the inorganic thing I'm talking about. So we need organic systems and not inorganic systems. Inorganic systems are used where organic systems have failed, yet organic systems control the inorganic systems. The people are the organic systems, and when they, okay, let me just leave that aside in interest of time. Then we have to talk about the society guided by conscience, not by law. The new Nigeria we are looking out for is the new Nigeria that will be guided by our consciences and not by law. Do you know what I mean? The conscience that will tell you that your brother deserves to live. Your brother deserves better. And if you live by that conscience, I'm telling you, you don't need a law. Somebody was telling me yesterday or 2 days ago, that something happened in South Africa. One of the traffic lights or something got broken. And all through the period the traffic light was broken, before they fixed it, there was no traffic jam. I was happy. He didn't tell me it happened in America. At least in South Africa, it's close to us. People understood. By conscience, I have used this road for like a minute or two. Let me stop. Let the other people use it. They will use somebody with that conscience will also stop. So without traffic lights, our consciences is the best law you can ever find in the world. Okay, I'm rounding up. So poverty is not the cause of corruption. Corruption is the cause of poverty. For example, patronizing money politics in one way or the other by our mentally poor people contribute to the problem of the country. But I keep asking them, just like when you're doing election period, they will take money and vote the same politician that suffered them. And you ask them, why are you doing this? They say, for the past 40 days or years, this is the first time the person is coming, and that's the only thing they can benefit from the person. Let them collect their share. And they'll collect their share and vote back the same problem and suffer for another 4 years. Who caused us like this? Now, I will ask them back. So you suffered for 4 years. You didn't die. God kept you alive. God cannot kill you. Now, this one day, when they say, this is another opportunity to now save your next 4 years and your children, and you are thinking of what to eat today. So, you know what I told you about forgiveness? Because they do not know. They don't know. You have reasons to forgive them. Today, vote the same person, then go hungry another 4 years again. Vote him back, another hunger. Why? So you don't say. Now, the journey of hope, I may go down by just giving you the hope. The journey of hope to our new Nigeria will not be an easy journey, I tell you. You will see unbelievable things, but the greatness of this success is in the toughness of the journey. You have to be abnormal in this journey. You know what I mean to be abnormal? We are in the old Nigeria. You have to think. People have to tell you, are you serious? Are you kidding? Are you okay? So you have to be abnormal in this journey. If you can see the future clearly, you will know that it is worth it. We have believed that we must break through the walls to say peace, which is like a shorter cut. When you are seeing the walls, you don't need to break it to go. And breaking means destroying the walls to get the peace. No. We are also saying that in New Nigeria, we can quietly walk across to the end of the wall and go to the next level without breaking the wall. It's a longer distance, but it's the lasting solution. There will be disappointments and betrayals of trust in this journey, but don't lose sight of the destructions. Don't lose sight of the destination. We are just one agreement away to our new Nigeria. As a nation, if only few people who mean well for our land from different clans could agree on one Nigerian philosophy based on this agreement of the summit, we are made for life. It is never a fight against religions, tribes, age, gender, class, or color. It is a civilized fight between the good and the bad. And you will find these two major groups in all division lines in the world. The good only needs to agree to build their country for their dreams. From our experience with some delegates, we know that their mission could be different from what we are doing. However, if you are here for fame, relevance, connection, that will aid you in your CV for some personal growth and so on and so forth, and not interested in the national growth, you may be missing so much. Slow and steady wins the race. Lower your expectations. Don't expect everybody to change for good or for our mindsets to be reprogrammed at once. It's a slow journey. The process could be very slow, but the impact will be internal and lasting. You may fall many times in your character building for a great nation, but keep standing up. It is not easy at all because it was not entrenched in our social values when we are younger or as children. We are all just trying to learn it now. So we didn't grow with it. We are just like babies, learning to walk. When you improve, please don't abuse or look down on others, but help them to get better. That is the team spirit. Keep trying. Fall 5 times, rise up 6 times, and keep your eyes on the beautiful paradise of the new Nigeria, where the peace in our hearts and for our children we know no boundaries. This is the new Nigeria, the new order of character and integrity. This is the journey we've started. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Debane, for that wonderful presentation. I'm sure we have a lot to take home, notes to jot. Am I correct? A new Nigeria is happening, and it's happening indeed. I want to say well done to everybody for paying attention and giving this our best. All right, now we're going to move on to the next thing on the agenda, which is tea break. Please note that we're changing plans today. There's a door to my right. It's going to be to your left. Am I correct? Exactly. There is a door that you use it to exit to get your tea, and then you come straight back into the hall. All right. We're not going to be staying out. We'll come back here, and I believe that our people will be presenting for their groups, the subgroups. You are ready. You've picked your presenters. So while we're having our tea breaks, we're going to go over the presentation according to the subgroups as outlined in our booklet right here. So while we're doing that, let everybody who will be presenting for the groups get ready for that, all right? So the tea break is going to be happening right here. So I join us to do that and be timely with it. Let's not forget, the new Nigeria, we have to make sure that we make good use of our time, all right? So we're going to go out, take our tea, bring it in, and start our presentation as we go. Is that okay? A new Nigeria? New Nigeria? Thank you so much. We'll be back and settle into the hall for the presentation.
Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided.